never really could like grasp until someone encouraged me or gave me the room to be like, no, you're not trying to be a DJ. You are a DJ. Like, what are you talking about? You can't just land here and just want to do the glamorous thing. Like, you have to
You're gonna be humbled real quick.
really, really quickly, you know? I have the passion, I have the determination, but the bread, I don't have the bread. You have to be surviving and like not in survival mode to make your best art.
I just need a beat right now. I just wanna feel a beat. Need a beat right now. I just wanna hear a beat. Need a beat right now. I just wanna feel a beat. Need a beat right now.
Hello, I am here with the lovely Dee Diggs. We are at Saint Jardim in the West Village and gonna open some wine and yeah, have a conversation about a lot of things related to kind of the underground scene in New York, Dee's kind of history in music, and kind of how you've gotten here today. So first things first is always gonna open this wine. I had actually heard, or you had told me that you were like pretty into wine,
yes,
which hasn't always been the case on the show. I think it makes it extra special when, it gets to be, kind of with someone that really enjoys this.
Mm-hmm.
Like how did you kind of just come into enjoying wine?
I studied abroad in France in college, so I'm like opening bottles of wine. That was just a part of the education, really. Yeah. But yeah, just like got to try a lot of wine. I was staying in like the Rhone Valley sort of area, so like close to Lyon, like the French Alps. And so yeah, there's just a lot of just great wine culture there.
Oh.
I got to like spend a Beaujolais holiday in France. Like I was like there drinking the young wine and like having the crazy hangover, like doing the whole 9 yards.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I feel like that's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah, I feel like most people that study abroad in France, it's just like, I'm just in Paris. Like,
Right, yeah. And I mean, I'd wanted to be, but like as the fates had it, it didn't work out that way. And so I was in a city called Grenoble.
yeah. Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Kind of in the mountains a bit,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah, it's kind of like mountain town.
Yeah, that's my parents' favorite city in France.
Really?
They were there I've heard it's changed quite a bit, but
Yeah.
they were there in like the early 90s.
Really cool.
And
Like
I think it was like
living?
in the winter for like a couple weeks with kind of like
Okay, yeah.
sabbatical, and just like fell in love with it. At that point, they said it was like kind of a college town
It
and just like
is.
very like beautiful.
It's really lovely. And like I was doing like French studies there because my minor was French. And it was just really refreshing. I think obviously in a big city like Paris, like no one really has time. Like you're struggling with French. It's like straight to English, or it's like, get out of here. We don't want to deal with you. But like everyone was so patient, like in Grenoble, and like that was kind of the culture with like a lot of international people coming there. It's like a big like science hub, like environmental hub, and so yeah, I just really loved how just like open and friendly everyone was.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. I kind of got into wine mainly from like working here. Also like growing up in California was just like around a lot of it. And I was very tempted. I mean, you told me some of the kind of styles of wine you like, lighter red, thought kind of Beaujolais, and I was considering opening something like that. I also really love kind of like very like well done and like not kind of oaky Chardonnay.
Yeah.
So I kind of riffed off of that.
Okay.
But kind of I always enjoy like having some bit of like curveball with people who like know wine to like hopefully maybe introduce you to something like new.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that style of wine,
Okay.
and this is a dry German Riesling.
Oh,
I would say it drinks actually a little bit like Chardonnay in some ways. It's like kind of more like medium body. Definitely still has like really nice acid and a lot of like that kind of like orchard fruit thing going on. This is from a producer named Julian Hart, and I hope you enjoy.
Yes, thank you.
If not, I will open up another bottle.
I mean, I like the labels.
Yes.
So like,
no, that's half the
That's a
battle.
good start.
Yeah.
That's a good start. Yeah. Yeah, it was really lovely. Yeah, great choice.
Hell yeah. No, it's kind of, I do miss like a little bit like getting to like kind of share and serve wine as like kind of a day job, but it's fun to get to do it here with someone who appreciates it and enjoys it. I was actually like going to ask you about like your time abroad, but this is like kind of a nice segue since
Yeah,
we already
sure.
brought it up. Was that, I feel like I read somewhere that that was like maybe that you had like some exposure to like kind of
Yeah,
house music or club music there that maybe you hadn't had previously,
definitely.
or
I mean, I moved there when I was 19, so I like couldn't really go to clubs in the US. So I was going to school at Boston University, and then went to Grenoble to do study abroad. And yeah, I just like it was just kind of like everything at once, you know, like you can go to class and then go to a bar and just like hang out, you know. So yeah, I kind of stumbled into this bar that was called Bauhaus, and it just had a really cool cast of characters in there, and they thought I looked really cool. Like this was back in the day, I had like a huge afro. And there's like, what are you doing here? Like, who are you? What's the story? You know? And yeah, I actually like met a bunch of DJs, and like that was just like not only like nightlife culture and like but also like vinyl culture too. Like I'd been interested, and also I did college radio, so
okay.
they had a huge archive of like stuff that they were like actually playing on the air, you know, in the 80s and 90s and stuff. But yeah, just to like actually be in the culture, talking to other people who collect vinyl, who love it, who are like knowledgeable about certain labels, and like just nerding out in that direction. That was like kind of my first time. And it was it turned into this thing where like house music being like originating in the States became this like research project that I kind of like funneled a lot of homesickness in
Hmm.
too. So that was also kind of a driving force in this way, where yeah, like I think I'd known about like Daft Punk and French Touch and all of this, but to really go back to the beginning of this, like even like Daft Punk album Homework, you know, and where they're actually like stating all of these American originators and innovators that have just inspired them to be inspired sound wise and the evolution of their sound. Um, and so yeah, I just feel like how all of that came together felt very like it's like kismet, you know.
Hmm.
And then I saw this movie called Eden, which I really love.
I'm not
Um,
familiar. What's it?
it's a French movie, and it kind of is about sort of this era, like French Touch era in Paris and France, and it's sort of like it's like loosely based on like maybe almost like the social scene like around Daft Punk.
Mm.
So it's kind of like Daft Punk are the two ones that like made it big, right? But like for every two of those, we have like hundred thousands others of DJs who like make up local scenes, or like you know were the people who first booked some people like Daft Punk, like this sort of vibe. And so yeah, it was kind of about that, but it was kind of about a DJ whose career had like really high highs and then kind of had a plateau at a certain point, and him just like grappling with yeah, honestly a lot of things like substance abuse and like just like the weird like ego maze that doing such a like I don't know, like doing your passion in such a like outward, like really world facing, people facing way. And like that comes with a lot of, yeah, just like stuff you have to like work through internally, you know? And I saw that movie, I loved it. I love the soundtrack. I still to this day like love the soundtrack. Like so many of my just like most confident like sets as like a DJ in the beginning, like really actually like mixing on CDJs and stuff, like a lot of them had a lot of songs from the soundtrack of Eden. And then yeah, like it was a beautiful movie, and I walked out and I was like, that was great and I love the movie, but I feel like I could do that better than a man. Like I was like really walked out like I feel like I could do that and like not crash out at the end. Actually, like there, I was like
I know how to take care of
yeah,
myself.
or just like I don't know. I'm just like it was just interesting to see the whole journey of it like laid out like that so cinematically, and there was something really inspiring to me. And it just kind of showed me this other avenue that wasn't just like me sort of like hiding in this little college radio station, just like talking to the mic and doing it that way, you know?
Yeah. Would you say you like almost started to consider yourself like as a DJ after like watching that, or was it just like the first step that kind of like?
I mean, yeah, it like that was like it kind of happened like a series of steps, you know, but it's like hanging out with all these DJs, talking about music with them and like learning so much. And yeah, it's just like I think just having a community around you that's very like yes and, you know, was very just like influential, you know. And then I see the movie, I'm like, it's set. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, literally this summer, after I got home from 9 months in France, which like still to this day was like the longest time I've ever lived outside of the
Yeah.
US.
So you did the full year abroad.
Yeah, I did the full
That's
year
wow.
abroad. Yeah, and my parents were actually living in South Africa then, so I didn't even come back for Christmas. I flew from France to Cape Town for Christmas, and then I went back. So I like was not. This was like Obama years. I was like out of the country like the whole time. But yeah, it was a very interesting time. I feel like it was just like meant to be, you know. Um, and yeah, I got back that summer and I had a tax return coming my way from my on-campus job like the year before. And I'm like, I'm gonna go on eBay, buy a Vestex controller
Wow.
and see where it goes from there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I get like, I mean, it's funny. Like, I'm not gonna go into much detail about it, but like,
Mhm.
I had a very similar experience. I did a year abroad in Buenos Aires, and before that, I like
Amazing.
barely understood house music, and
Mhm.
then like was also 19, was exposed to like so much dance music culture there,
Yeah.
and like saw even some of my current favorite DJs like there. I got to see like Honey Dijon, like a lot of other
Amazing.
artists I love.
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever this is, like, I
Yeah.
need more of this. And then, yeah, like went back and like got my first controller, and it was just
Mhm.
like from there. I guess like for me and for like a lot of other people I know, like, yeah, I wasn't really familiar with like house music. There's definitely some music I was listening to that was like kind of adjacent or like in that
Yeah.
world, but like in the US, like with some exceptions, like most people growing up in the US, like don't grow up in like a community of like people listening to house
Yeah.
music. Like you can definitely find that in like,
Mhm.
you know, parts of Chicago,
Yeah.
Detroit, New York, et cetera, et cetera. But like for the most part,
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of kids in the US are growing up without that. Whereas like in the UK, even in like some parts of France, like
Yeah.
there's like more cultural, it's on the radio. It's
Mhm.
like you're just like around it.
Yeah.
Like was that similar to your experience, or had you
Yeah,
kind of, yeah.
definitely. Yeah, that definitely was my experience. But I've always been someone who just loves like collecting and curating my own library of music. Like I got an iPod very, very early. Like I have a memory of like taking my iPod to school in like 5th grade. I was like, yeah, maybe like by the cubbies, like listening to my music, and my teacher's like, what is that? Like fully just like explain to me what that is. And then she was like, is is it a phone? Like, can you call anyone? I was like, no, there's literally just like Hillary Duff albums on here. She was like, okay, you're good, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, I feel I've also had this thought about how me being perfectly placed in this time that like technology is advancing so quickly and music technology as well. Yeah, to like have had like when I was a very little kid in the late 90s, like actually listening to my cassette Walkman and switching to a CD player and then just like random MP3 players and then the iPod, you know, like these were these gradual steps where yeah, I'm kind of like maybe like the bug was already planted then because that is just it's just a very new age idea for you to be like, I mean, people were like making mixtapes off the radio, of course, you know, but it's like you're like waiting for a song and then you're recording it, then you're stopping. It's like still very analog in this way, whereas to actually have your own library of music, like physically on something is, yeah, I think like is where the curation bug starts, is where the digging bug starts, where you're like, there's a world of music out there and I get to choose like what songs I like, how they go together, how they make me feel,
Mhm.
what the mood and the atmosphere of the playlist is. And so yeah, just to start thinking about music that way. Even though I am someone who loves albums and like I love to see just like that original context that the artist intended for those songs. But then yeah, that next step is all for the listener and for the audience and the dancer to really understand and recontextualize and understand in their own ways, you know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like in this day and age, we have become very divorced
Mhm.
from that kind of curatorial, like, joy. I just feel like they're like, yeah, and a lot of it I think is to do with technology, but even like like I just feel like at that era too, there was like so many more like blogs that people actually read and
Yes,
found music
yes,
on.
yes.
Like it just like and curatorial. I mean, there was still like even like I mean, this is like now kind of fast forwarding, but even like the early days of Spotify had like real human curators, like
Yeah.
people like and you know, obviously before that, yeah, like so many music blogs, publications that people were like reading and engaging with, and there was community around, and
Yeah.
like yeah, I mean, streaming culture has just like really killed so much of that. And it's like, sure, there's like access to like more music than ever, and there still are those people that are like really digging.
Yeah.
But something's definitely lost, and
Mhm.
like it sounds like you were able to like in France, and then like it sounds like moving back to kind of Boston, and then you know eventually New York, like able to still find a lot of community around just like that kind of connoisseurship and like people
Yeah.
that just like love this shit. Like
I mean, I'm like, listen, we got these ads on the subway for like an AI friend and a necklace that you wear, but at the end of the day, like to be a part of culture, to be immersed in culture, you have to go outside and talk to people. You have to go outside and be like, I like this. Do you like that? Oh, you don't like that? Oh, you like this instead? Why? Like you have to be able to like be curious about that engagement and to really understand that there's so much knowledge that you get from that connection, that like the best songs and the best stories and the best tips that like really give all this music, all this culture so much meaning, because even though it is like house music is still a relatively young genre, so it's so interesting to be talking to people who were there when like a lot of these hits like became hits or like first were dropped in a club or like had these really just like foundational and like historical moments, and yeah, that's something I like from the beginning. I felt like that was like the part of the music education and a part of going out that I just really, really enjoyed is that like cross generational touch point. And yeah, I was excited not only to speak to those people, but how excited those people were to speak to me and to be like, this is someone who's like young and like wants to know what it really is, like not just what it is presented to you as on top 40s or whatever random Ibiza 2012, compilation that's just gonna pop up on YouTube. Like someone who's like, "Oh, you were there? Like you saw Freaky Knuckles? How was that? Was that cool? Like what happened?"
yeah.
You know?
And who are the people that were like that you liked maybe even more who were around that we've never heard
Right.
of? You know, like
Also,
there's exact
also,
like
yeah, there's also that, So yeah, I'm like, I'm really grateful that my journey unfolded the way that it did. Like there's been so many just like people who have been really I don't know, almost like these people who have just like opened paths for me or like open possibilities for me that I maybe was like leaning towards but never really could like grasp until someone, yeah, I don't know, encouraged me or gave me the room to be like, no, you're not trying to be a DJ. You are a DJ. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they're like, no one's gonna give you a chance. We're trying to be a DJ. You have to like stand in it.
yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that that is still the resounding thing. And I still get to do a lot of that with a lot of like the traveling and the touring and stuff is like really seeing how this culture has evolved and really become niche and very specific to certain places, whether it's in their party culture or the sounds or, just like the legacy of clubs or spaces. And it is truly so different in all of these places. And I think that's what makes it really beautiful, honestly.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. And I guess like yeah, speaking of kind of Frankie Knuckles, Chicago, like getting some of your first opportunities, like wasn't one of kind of your earlier on in your career, you got to play kind of was it an anniversary party for
It was one of many closing parties.
oh, it's
I'm
a
like,
closing party. Okay.
gay people. They're
Yeah.
like, this is the last one, we swear. And it's like weeks and weeks later, it's like, oh, there's another closing
Any
party.
excuse.
Literally, yeah.
Not mad at it. But.
I heard like weeks later, they're like, okay, it's the real closing party, and we're auctioning off the huge disco ball. I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
Oh my
but yeah, this was New Year's. It had to be New Year's 2018 into 2019 that I
Okay.
went and played Man's Country
So you'd already been
in
in New York at
Chicago.
that time, or no?
No, so
Okay.
I was in Boston
Oh
actually.
wow.
Yeah, I was still
Okay.
in Boston because I graduated from college in 2016.
Okay.
And I was still working there. I'm just like young professional vibes. Office job out of college, throwing parties with my friends on the weekends, doing a lot of like collectivism work. And yeah, that was like around that time. And yeah, that was like incredible. That was like really sick. Actually, Harry Cross was the one who like booked me for that.
Oh, cool. How'd you get
And
connected with him?
I don't know how he found me. I don't know who. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't
so he
know
just like
who,
reached
what,
out to
where.
you cold, just like
Literally
SoundCloud or Instagram or something, just
on the
like,
email,
oh
just like,
wow.
yo, like, I mean, I'm like, that was one of those moments where I was just like, honestly, I'm like, gay people don't lie. Like, I'm like, this man sitting me up out of the blue, just like you're like writing an email to a friend. I was like, I don't even know if this is real. It doesn't feel real. But I'm gonna answer and see what he's talking
Yeah.
about. And yeah, sure enough, he was like, yeah, got your plane ticket. I got a place for you to stay. Do you want to come? I was like,
Wow.
well, yeah, I do want to come.
Had you had
actually.
anything like that happen, or you'd kind of mainly
No,
just been like doing
yeah,
kind of Boston
yeah,
thing?
just like local stuff. Yeah, so that was
But things must have been going pretty well for him to have like kind of
yeah.
found
It
you,
was
or
like
like just
who, what, where, why. I don't even
wow.
know, but I'm just like, yeah, word of mouth. And like when people see something that they like, when they feel it, it's like I feel like that is the most natural thing to like
Yeah.
tell a friend. So yeah, that's really how that came about. And that was amazing. I feel like I was like beginning to have these feelings of like, okay, I obviously I have a community in Boston. It's like doing a lot of stuff. This was also like this like it's like early like feminism resurgence sort of vibe going on just in the zeitgeist. And so yeah, I was getting involved with a lot of that. Like I was a part of a group called Evolve Tech, and we threw like an all women and non-binary weekend of like shows, parties, workshops. Um, and that was actually my first touch point with Disc Women.
Mm.
Frankie and some of the others like came down. I had some artists play, did some panels. And so yeah, there was a lot of really great stuff going on there. But I was also like, at a certain point, I will have to take a step in just like a city, a bigger city, a more established club culture direction.
Were you just kind
Um,
of like hitting kind of walls there in terms of like what you could
like
do, or what?
Yeah, it's like yes and no. I feel like it was more of a social thing. Like I think I came in very like young and excited, and I think I was just very like, even though like the things I was saying, I don't think were very like outlandish, but I think it was just the time. Like I feel like a lot of gatekeepers were intimidated by someone like young just coming along and being like, "Hey, like I love the music. I love the DJs. I don't like the culture of your party. I'm just like this young woman coming to dance by myself, and I don't feel comfortable and I don't feel like anyone's really looking out for me. And that goes beyond just like a sign on the door or something that says like don't harass anyone or be good or none of the phobias. And yeah, like sometimes I would just feel like social backlash, or like I would have people being like, yo, like watch your back, like so and so was kind of shit talking. And me just having these moments where like I'm not like coming for anyone, but I'm like, if you are just being laissez-faire about something that is prevalent at your party, then you condone it, and that becomes the culture of your party. And that's like that becomes why someone like me like maybe can like really will only come if the headliner's like mwah, like can't miss. But it's like I can't be a regular in that space even if I wanted to be. And it forced me to just collaborate with other people and like create our own spaces where we could just like create the party culture that we wanted to have. um but yeah, there was some like friction there. And yeah, I wasn't like running away from it or anything, but I was thinking long term, knowing that this was something I wanted to keep doing, and just really loving just like the history that was there in Chicago, and like yeah, just like people telling me all these like amazing stories, and like even Man's Country, it's like a crazy history of like their like ballroom, like Madonna played it back in the day. Um Grace Jones played
Yeah.
there.
I
Like,
know, wasn't there some like Michael had like told you that point or so like Serafini about like Grace playing there or
yes,
something,
yes,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
like hadn't
literally.
you yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went to the record store. I met Michael. Like it was just, it was just like one of those moments where I'm just like, all this history is just like right here. You know, like these people are just like chilling and like pushing it forward incrementally day by day. And I just found that to be really like honorable and real. You know, um, and so yeah, like I kind of left that tripping like, yeah, like I mean, I've always wanted to live in New York, but it was like Chicago. It's really cute too. I like saw someone's apartment. I was like, you pay $1,000 for this
Crazy.
big ass
No, I
apartment.
feel
I was
that
like,
every
oh my
time I'm in
gosh.
Chicago, I'm
It's
just like,
so nice. Like it's
how?
really nice.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we like one of my best friends, this guy Adam Roker, who's like you'd probably know him from like his Instagram handle, like Homo Metronome. I think he's like come to some of your parties and is like I think you've like hooked him up with guest lists before or anything.
Yeah.
But like he's like Chicago based, and so I've gotten to like get to go to like Queen at Smart Bar like 10 times.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of like, and I've always felt that similar thing with just like amazing community there of
Yeah.
like people who just like love house music and just like
amazing vibes. Like I was like, wow. Like I'm like, it could be this nice.
yeah, exactly. And he's like paying like nothing for a 3-bedroom. And I'm just like, how?
I was like, wow, you guys are living life over here. But it's really cold. I don't know if I could do the cold. After living in Boston for 6 years, I'm like, oh, I need to live somewhere
Somewhat warm, New York.
well, the snow melts here in Boston. The snow,
yeah.
there's like mountains of snow on the sides of the street from November until April. I'm like,
different.
it does something to the mind that's like not cute after a while. You're just like, I don't want to see this anymore. Like I just want to like walk down the street. I'm like, this is cute. Like New York can do a cute winter. Like it'll snow. Like it's like, oh,
We have 2 days
go
of like winter
outside, take your
wonderland.
picture. It's so nice, but yeah, it's not. I mean, we get a blizzard here and there, but it's not as intense as these other places.
Totally.
But yeah, also I'm just like, yeah, New York has just been calling my name since I was like a little kid. Like I had to move here, you know.
And the timing seems like it was kind of perfect too, as like
Yeah.
thing. And like, it seems like in at least from like the external perspective too, like, you know, like you were welcomed with like you know some level of open arms and like we're able to like build some great relationships with people and kind of like settle in and acclimate at least like you know relatively quickly. I know for some people it takes like a really long time to even just like find their footing and maybe that has been like your experience, but like was kind of curious like what that's felt like.
I mean I'd started playing some parties here and there in the summer of the summer of 20 oh no, actually wait, I misquoted. Man's Country had to have been 2017 into 2018.
Okay.
Because then in the summer of 2018, that's when I started taking the bus in between Boston and New York a lot to like play parties. I played at Bossa.
Yeah.
Mood Ring was kind of like newish at the time. I played there.
What was that first experience at Bossa like?
Super exciting, like
I feel like
really
especially
cool.
that era was just like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like I don't know if like if the yerba mates were like hitting or what. I'm like I don't necessarily remember. I'm like.
Yeah, it was the yerba mates.
I'm like, yeah, sure, it's yerba mates. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm like, and whatever we're mixing them with, you know. But I was just really happy to be there. Yeah. So it was like, I don't know. But yeah, it's a whole thing because I have like a partner that I've been dating for a while. Her name is Lindsay, and
I kind of knew my partner from work stuff, which is like really random and funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, and we're both party people, and so everyone's like, how'd you meet? And we have like 2 different stories. Like it's like, okay, maybe we met. So she claims that we met that night because the people I played with, Shane, Kernan Laveau, and then father of 2, like she's really good homies with them. They're like sort of Pittsburgh heads. So she was like, I was there, like we had to have met. And then I was just like, I was just a girl in town for the weekend. I didn't know anyone, probably met a lot of people. I was like, I don't remember. Yeah, like I actually don't remember us like a meeting and talking until I already like moved here, like by that December. And we were hanging out at Nowadays seeing a mutual friend play. But I'm like, that's how these nights go. You remember some are a little fuzzy, you know. It's
Well,
like
you caught her at.
yeah, I'm like, we eventually we did the thing. I feel like I remember this moment like by the water cooler at Mood Ring, and I was like, we're just like always in these places or like dark or like red light bulbs, or like, should we just like go to dinner and like have a conversation?
Oh, what a concept.
Yeah, that was like right, eat food. And yeah, that was nice. I'm glad that we did that.
Yeah. And then you eventually, after kind of playing parties periodically here, it was like, okay, time to just do the damn thing. And
I mean, pretty quickly, it was a little bit of like a gentrification thing. Like I had to move out of my spot, which was like so affordable. Actually, probably like the best rent moment I like ever had in Boston. So living in a 3-bedroom and paying like $650, and it was like in the middle of a Dudley Square, which has now been renamed Nubian Square. But just a like really like just like black and diverse part of Boston. And yeah, I'd mostly grown up for like my time in Boston, like living like next to BU and around there. So it was just really nice to see that part of Boston and to really like, yeah, just like be there at the bus stop every day, try to catch my bus to the T and take the T to work, you know, like doing all of that. But yeah, it's like I had to move out of there, and there were just a lot of changes afoot in my life. Like I had left my day job, and I was just like, I don't know, like I will be paying 700 in rent anyways, and I at this moment know that that is gonna make me broke anyways. So I'm like, I could be broke in New York and try to make something pop, or I'm just like sitting in Boston and being like, oh, coulda, woulda, shoulda, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. I was like, no, next year's now. Like, let's go, you know? And that was like a movie, like honestly. Like my best friend lent me the money to rent the U-Haul, drove the U-Haul with me. We're like, we're like,
oh, that's a good friend.
That's a good friend. And then we're in traffic. My dad's like calling. I'm like, oh, I'm driving. So I put him on speakerphone. My dad's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just
moving to New York.
Yeah, exactly. Just moving to New York, like a parent's worst nightmare. He was like, do you have a job? Like, what's going on? Like he was like his head was blowing a gasket. And I was just like, no, but I'm literally in the U-Haul. So like it is what it is. Like we just gotta figure it out, you know, and figure it out I did. Like definitely it was not easy. Actually, yeah, just like was like playing, networking a lot. Played a lot at Mood Ring in the beginning, and then eventually started like even hosting parties there. And then I remember I had gone to a Sublimate or two, and I really liked that party. And then yeah, somehow in like talking to like Matt and Chung and Turtlebug, I was offered a spot to play. And I remember I was a hostess at this restaurant in Tribeca called Tiny's, and my phone like broke, like my iPhone cracked in half, and like you can't touch it, like nothing. I'm just like, no, like I literally have to go play this gig, and I'm like, I don't have a phone. I'm just like, this is just gonna be so like chaotic, you know? And yeah, I was like, had to call up my best friend, U-Haul friend. I'm like, you need to get yourself one of those, okay? I was like, okay. So I was just like,
Call me an Uber.
I was like, my tab's getting really high now, bro. I'm so sorry, but like, I was like, I need you to help me, and like, we found some service. Some guy pulled up in a van out, like parked outside my work. I literally went out there. I'm like, I'm trusting with my life right now. I'm really like passing you my iPhone. You're in a van. You can just drive away. But I'm like, but if you don't, I have this $100 for you, like ready for you. You know, like I just need to get back in that phone, obviously, to send you the money. And so he's like, no, I got you. Fix my phone.
Just from his van.
Just
it's
from
like
his
the most
van.
New York shit.
Yeah, it's like this is so crazy. And yeah, I just feel like just like the climb was just full of these hijinks like that, where I'm just like, ooh, like I'm squeezing a corner, and like the only thing that's gonna press me on this corner is like money. I'm just like, I'm like, I have the passion, I have the determination, but the bread, I don't have the bread. Like, what am I gonna do?
Was that ever like discouraging for kind of keeping with it, or was it more like fully inspirational of like, I'm kind of bought in on making this music thing work.
I
So,
mean,
like,
yeah, a lot of times. I mean, yeah, it was like I can't lie. Like I think, especially, yeah, especially as someone who just like, yeah, just like graduated from where I graduated. Like a lot of my peers were like, just like being able to like make some of those steps. So like 23, 24, and had the stability to do so. And I was chasing this other thing that was like kind of almost like me trying to put tectonic plates together, these like little formations, like at least like try to stand or something. Like it just was not the same, you know? And like, yeah, sometimes that feels very like just like isolating, I think, and it makes you just like doubt what you're doing. And then, yeah, to have people who like mean well, but who are older than you being like, babe, just get a real job. Like that's literally what you have to do, you know? And you just being like, but like time is the resource that it takes to pour into your art, pour into your passion, pour into like being around and being a person who people like understand, like, you know, like is not just doing this just because oh it's fun or it's cute. It's like I'm serious about it, you know? And so yeah, like yeah, it definitely was like not easy. It was like a good like 2 years of like paycheck to paycheck. And like even when like I started playing more and it was like really great. But yeah, then I'm like balancing like I'm supposed to be the brunch host at 10 at 10 a.m., but I close out the party until 4 a.m. and you're
what's
just
this supposed to look
like it's like not that much time to like sleep and eat and
and
like
then somehow take care of
refresh,
yourself.
you know, and then go to Tribeca and they're like, "Will you help us carry this baby stroller up the stairs?" It's like, "Oh my God." Like so it was just interesting having like switch worlds like that, you know, but I learned so much from that stint in hospitality and that job was also such a blessing. Like I kept it for way longer than I really needed to. Like even yeah, I had like older people in my family being like, "You're a hostess at a restaurant at 25? Like what's going on with you, girl? Like are you slumming it or whatever?" I'm like, "No, I'm like really working on something." But then pandemic time happened and like I was like in those like first wave of people to like get right on unemployment because like our restaurant like had a really cool manager and he was like, "Nothing like this has ever happened before. Y'all need to take this pink slip, do something with it now, like today." He was like, "Don't wait, because this is like not a thing that happens every day, you know?" And so yeah, that like ended up being another thing that just afforded me just like time and like resources that as a creative, as a freelancer, I would have never been able to afford, you know? Like just like a lot of cushion. And just like in the one time that our government would do that for people, even though they should be doing that all the time, you know? Because yeah, I made so many strides forward in that time because my basic needs were met,
You
you
could
know?
spend 40 hours a week doing your passion or whatever it is, you
Yeah,
know.
literally, yeah. So yeah, I feel like New York has been such an adventure of like of those things where it's like you you can't just land here and just want to do the glamorous thing. Like you have
You're
to
gonna be
get
humbled real quick.
really, really quickly, you know? And then even like the glamorous thing has like so many levels that like from the outside looking in, like you cannot perceive, you don't understand. Like and so yeah, I feel like all of those steps to like get to where I am now is just like it's really been like such a character building experience, you know? Like it's really taught me just like so much about myself, you know, and like yeah, at times where this job gets really like pressing or like hard or like yeah, I feel like burnt out, but I'm still like realizing that this is my path in life because as much as like I love the music has something to teach me, to show me, to instill in me, you know, like this is kind of like yeah, it's like it's a journey, it's my passion, it's my path, you know what I mean? And like there has always been this way in which yeah, like I've had stints where like I was still DJing, but like maybe just less and like more like working like a day job or like had like a corporate stint, which was great because then I bought a bunch of records and CDJs and like had that sort of moment. And I yeah,
Like kind
I
of
tell,
during your New York time.
yeah. And like I tell friends who are like artists, I'm like, there's actually nothing that's not honorable about that. That's actually really just like it's really brave actually, you know, to like not be stuck in this thing where like well, my art isn't like real or valid unless that's the only thing I'm doing for money. Cause sometimes that's what kind of ruins it, you know? Like sometimes you need those moments in your life where like something else is like picking up that weight or like giving you a bit of that cushion so that the thing you love can remain something that you love, you know? It's not something that's like do or die for the dollar.
I feel like I, in some ways, very much needed to hear that. As someone who 3 months ago started my first ever tech job, been working in restaurants for 3.5 years in New York, kind of, and I was just, getting to a point where I was like, I am very burnt out. This is not that sustainable. Like, definitely felt some of the pressure to like maintain like the kind of artist identity and all of that. I'm like, I actually feel great now that I can like
I'm saying
be more financially stable. And like maybe I'm not able to devote as much time to music right now. I'm feel better. And I think in the long run, it'll be so much easier for me to like actually take steps forward because I just kind of felt like it was on the hamster wheel. And, like,
exactly. And like living in an expensive place gets like that. It really does. Like I feel like you have to be surviving and like not in survival mode to make your best art. Like you really do. Like you need to just have moments where like you're bored, like you're not just like thinking about how do I make everything line up like check to check and like all this stuff. Like you need those moments of like just like comfort and like stability, you know? And sometimes the only way you can do that and afford yourself that space is like to do some adulting, you know, to like put on the hat, get on the Zoom, be like, hello, good morning, everyone. Like to like do the thing, you know? I'm like, I never fault anyone for doing that. I think that's like, I think it's really great, honestly. It really is.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I think it's like, it'll be nice for everyone to kind of hear that too. Cause I think there is just like, you know, there's plenty of obviously so many wonderful people like in the scene who like would have zero judgment at all around that. But then, you know, there's also that kind of part of it where there will be people who it's kind of like looked down a little at least, or kind of, I don't know, just like have that mentality where like, you must not like care enough or like whatever thing. And I'm like so aligned with how you're looking at it.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of those people don't understand what it takes to remain an artist in life, you know, to like not just pack up all that creative stuff and put it in a part of your basement and it's not, you know, and like I think a lot of that comes from this pressure of like if you're not only eating off of that, if you're not, you know, on the Billboard 100, just like pack it up, like whatever, you know, because like it's like no, like creativity, like living a creative life, having that expression is a part of life for a lot of people, you know, and there are so many ways to do that, and like just like in smaller ways than having it be your be all end all, you know? Like I feel very, I feel very blessed to get to where I am now, where like that is the only thing I'm doing, but then it's actually not the only thing I'm doing because I'm like a freelancer, I'm an entrepreneur, and the business is me, you know what I mean? There's always like, there's like a million jobs folded into one, and then I have to like mat the face and go and do the show like at the same time, you know? So it's like
a lot of unglamorous
it really is. Like people don't get that actually. And there's this whole thing of like traveling and touring. Like some people are like, oh, you're on vacation all the time. It's like, but you're really not. I'm like that actually more and more. I'm just like, I might not even wish this on my worst enemy because they couldn't take it. Like you cannot do this. Like this is like sometimes it's like back to back, and like you're in front of a crowd and you're in front of people, and like, you know, obviously like they care, you're human, but it's like they want your best.
You're the
you
talent.
know, you're there to like help them do this ritual of dance and like partying and having a good time and like feeling embodied in this moment. You know, it's like not really about being like, oh, I'm tired from the airport and all the flights. It's like, that does matter. And like, that's what like good, like artist liaisons, good promoters, even good drivers. I've had so many like great drivers in this career who are just really nice people, you know, like some people just have the gift and the personality for this type of hospitality. And like, it really, really does matter, you know? And I just like, I try to be so frank with these people, like, to be like, you're really good at your job. And like the way that you do your job makes me be able to do what I came here to do, you know, which is like actually like serve you my best, like regardless of like what like Dee the woman is going through. Like I'm here as like Dee Diggs the artist, and like I want to give you that feeling, you know. Yeah. But it really takes people, yeah, just like also taking care of that human side of you for you to be able to go to a strange place and tap into.
Yeah, I mean, very few people can like sustainably over however many years be on the road, 150
Yeah.
days, and like no, I don't know. I'm just like
Yeah.
and yeah, not at least and like maintain like you know like their health, their sanity,
Yeah.
and not have at least some level of supportive group around that. And like if they don't, you might see that, and it might like come out and like unwind in like you know like sad ways. That does happen. Like you know, I guess like on the spectrum of like wanting to play most of your shows like locally versus like road warrior, like I want to be on the road every weekend, every week. Like where do you find yourself? Like
I try to strike the balance. I have a life here. Like I have people I love to see, I have parties I love to go to, I have places where I go to get inspired, you know, and like yeah, it's like I love when like I go back to my favorite parties and people are like, "Oh my God, you're here. Like you're actually in town. Like this is crazy." But yeah, I'm like I want to have those moments here too, you know, and playing as well. Like I think it is really important to like stay connected and stay rooted here. So yeah, I really try to strike a balance. Like if I'm when I do Europe, more and more like I've had years where I'll do shorter stints. Maybe I'll go for like two weekends and a week in between, and then I come back and then I'll do the longer stint, which is like a month or like 3 weeks to a month. I think this year is more being like I'll go over there and stay for like yeah a month, 5 weeks, and then come back and then I'm home for 5 weeks, and then just being able to just like find that balance.
do it on your own terms. It
Yeah,
sounds like.
exactly. Because it's like it just doesn't feel good to be gone all the time. Like I really don't.
And that's having a good relationship with your agent too, I'm sure, and just
Yeah.
like really being on the same page.
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
like, what you
exactly.
want.
Yeah, and yeah, and just like having people who like understand that like life is still going on in the background, you know? Like I could been doing like the most incredible show and like still in the background it's like, yeah, like I did have a day where like my grandma died and then literally the next day I'm like, dude, I'm playing a festival in Thailand. Like this is great, you know? I'm like, this is crazy. I literally just want to sit in the corner with my blanket and cry. And like, I'm like, no, like we have to go do the thing, you know? And so yeah, just having people around you who like understand that like as much as you do as you can like leave some of that behind, like not all of it. Like it is you, you know? Um and yeah, who can make room for that and just make sure that it like fits really what you're like not only like capable of like skill wise but like emotionally too, you know. But yeah, I'm like I really feel like my track record of who I've worked with has been like really beautiful. I've like really appreciated everyone, and like even these moments where you know I've like switched agents or you know had moments of like switching who I'm working with. I just really try to make sure that those people like know that the investment of time that they've put into what I do is really appreciated. Like I know that it really does take a village. I'm like, it takes a village for your favorite DJ to like stand up there alone and like rock a crowd of 10,000. Like there's so many people who are like propping them up. And yeah, I think we live in a time where like I think it's totally fine for people like have these DJs that they really admire and that they look up to, but I think those of us standing in those roles of influence, it's really important that we turn around and we shine that light, not just on our peers, but on the people who actually make it happen, you know, like the people like backstage, like the sound people, like the artist liaison, these like festival workers who are half the time like volunteers, like working like 20-hour shifts. Like there is so much like human load that goes into making this like beautiful experience. And I think it's the least we can do as some of the highest paid people in that space to turn around and say thank you, you know, or like yeah, just like you're really good at your job, or like this is the way that you exist in this space makes it possible for me to just like be here and feel comfortable and feel taken care of, you know. Um and yeah, I feel like that is just the way that we just like have this be a culture still, even though it's a business, it's an industry, but like at the end of the day, like a party is people coming together to make it happen. Like you cannot have a party alone, you know? It's like you could try, it's just not gonna be that much fun, you know what I mean? Like it's really about just like how everyone is feeling about the investment of time and energy
Yeah.
that they're making. Yeah.
And so much of that, as you kind of referenced earlier, is like a vibrant like local scene
Mhm.
too. And like I
Mhm.
feel like, yeah, you know, you've certainly been lucky to experience this. Like I occasionally too, but like when you get to travel somewhere else and like experience that local scene and like be welcomed with open arms and like
Yeah.
just get to see that. And like, yeah, you mentioned here, like when you are around, like wanting to like go and experience and
Yeah.
enjoy and like be a part of that. Cause like
Mhm.
that's where you are building community. And
Yeah.
like that's where, and there's like so much of it if you like know where to look and like
Yeah,
put in the
totally.
effort into those relationships and showing up. And
Mhm.
like, I guess I would be curious, like what for you are those kind of like parties or communities like in New York
Yeah, I
for you right
mean,
now? And maybe it's changed. Like I
yeah,
know
yeah.
Sublimate's not like,
Yeah, it's not a thing. But yeah, that was definitely like one of the first, just like experiencing this like loft style New York afters, but the main kind of like focus was like house music and techno, you know, and like not in a way where like it wasn't a snobby sort of vibe. It was very much still based in expression, even though we had those like those anchor points. It was like come and like bring your best and know you're playing for the heads, you know, like
that's
you're
what's fun.
playing for the heads.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna know the song, like they're gonna know the
Like that's what
reference
you'd
and like
want. Cause I feel like so
that is.
often like you don't necessarily get to play
That's
for
true,
crowds
that's
like
true.
that.
Yeah, it is. Which is what made it such a special space,
Yeah.
you know? And then yeah, it's like moving on from that, like I feel like Carrie Nation has been like a huge just like inspiration and like a place where in going to the party and like being a part of the community, and even just in the times I've played, I've like seen so much growth within myself, like from those moments. Like they are very much like pillars in my journey. Um, in terms of just like, yeah, like my skill and like what I'm into, how I'm sounding and all of this. And I've just had some really like, just like beautiful moments that I think braided me into the legacy of like not only New York like nightlife, but like gay life in New York that has been really foundational to my like understanding of like why this means so much and like what and who we're actually conjuring in when we're like playing a lot of these songs over and over, you know? Like there is a legacy, there is a story, and like the music is still good if you don't know that, but you meet those people and I don't know, like you play them the track in a really amazing, fierce way, in a way that like mixes old and new, and like you can really feel that gratitude, and you can feel that you're taking them to a place that is really special. But there's an appreciation for you being younger because none of them just want you to like just like play a tribute set, you know? Like they want you to show your appreciation this way where you're pushing towards something new with an appreciation for what has been the foundation or what came before. Like, I think that has been really important in those connections I've made and yeah, it's been really great. And I have a lot of respect for Will and Nita and just yeah, just like how they've like created a very much like family vibe like through this party, through the booking, through who's involved or who comes around, just like all of it. So yeah, I'm someone I really that's a party I really love, a space I really love, I've looked up to. Um, I've been throwing parties at Public Records since I'm like I want to say like when was my first? I think my first residency night was 2021.
Well, was it
Um,
always like House of Dicks or is that like a newer kind of,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess,
I mean,
zone?
yeah. Like I have like I think at first House of Diggs I did like a residency at Jupiter Disco. I only got like one off in February 2020, and then obviously everything shut
Yeah.
down. So then 2021 we came back and I finished out the series because it's supposed to be like 6 month club night residency. So then I did that and that was really great. And then yeah, I was like I played public records once in the sound room. I really loved it. I thought like the sound was great, the vibes were great. And then yeah, I was like kind of like called in like post pandemic. I think I had like written Francis because I actually like had dreams like during like no club time, like quarantine time, like I'd had like super vivid dreams of me not only playing in the sound room, but like dancing by myself. Like all the lights are on. I was like
Yeah.
on the dance floor, like fully like dancing by myself, you know, and having this moment where I'm just like, wow, like I must be really missing this place, or like there's some weird connection here where I'm like haven't been to the club in like months. I've just been like partying outside at the park, you know, like someone has like a boom box and their fucking mixer.
Had
Um
some deeper effect on you.
you know, yeah, I was just like something about this particular place is like bringing me back into remembering like just like how good like a club night or can really be, you know? And so yeah, it's been really lovely to like grow with that space and like how much they've like allowed me to like grow as an artist, as a curator. And yeah, how they've encouraged me to just be really like bold and like also like real with the people I'm curating in and like how and like who I'm inviting. And like at first I think it was very much based in me wanting to just have a lot of like older people, I think, who like yeah just are not getting as many opportunities even though they're so foundational to like what we do and how we do it. So I think like one of those first nights was me and Patty Kane. And then I had my OG from Boston, Bob Diesel, come. Um, and yeah, it was just kind of like spiraling on from there where it was just like, I feel like I was on a really good wave of like name recognition. And I'm like, okay, like you guys like D Diggs, but like it took a lot of people before D Diggs for me to even hone into like this is the niche I'm trying to hit, you know? Like took a lot of people like making music, doing the party, like DJing, like doing all the things, you know? And so to get the platform to put yourself in a context for people to like learn and understand and like take the appreciation they have for you and sort of like spread a little bit on another DJ.
And
Like
that's great curation.
it's
As we
great.
started
It's
this
great.
conversation, I mean, that's
Yeah.
curation.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And like that's like how it's supposed to be, you know? And like I really try to think about it even down to like who plays when, you know? So like if it's just me and another DJ, I like to do because we have 6 hours, the sound room usually, and I like to do an hour and a half. I play by myself and an hour and a half for them. So it's like we both get an opening set. And then I offer it up to people. I'm like, if you just feel like at that point you're gonna get into your flow and you want to just do your whole 3 hour stack, you can do that in the middle, and then I'll come back and close out the party. We've done it that way a lot of times, or then other times we just actually switched off. So it's like I play opening, then they have their sort of opening, but takes us into peak. I get that like peak time hour and a half, and then they come back and, you know, take us over the mountain, you know. And it's been really great because that also as me hosting as well, it gives me a chance to attend the party, to like hear what it sounds like on the other side, to like have these moments where I'm on the dance floor. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they played that. It made me think of this. And now I go back up there for an hour and a half and like I have to fit that in, you know, because it like goes so perfectly with this vibe. And yeah, I think it's just really special. Like you don't always get to just like have those moments, like those like epiphanies that you get later when you're like not on stage and like be able to like loop that back into what you're presenting. So yeah, I've really loved it. And I've really loved just like how much trust that they've like given me to like grow in that space and curate. And yeah, just like the emphasis on hospitality has also just been really great too, with like dinner and how they set people up and them. Yeah, like I and then as I start traveling more, I would start inviting more friends that I was meeting, just like overseas and peers that, yeah, I was meeting at these festivals and like maybe we didn't know each other, but like sound wise, I was like, wow, like what we do, there's like a synergy or maybe there's like an interesting contrast, you know, and like to be able to bring those people, like some of them here to New York for their debut has been really, really beautiful, you know, and to like do it in a place where it's like, because I'm like Europe, I feel like a lot of things are, I mostly play it in the Netherlands. So it's like where my agency, Minor AM, that I'm repped by, is based. And that is just where I just like found the most like support and kind of like had my, yeah, I guess like breakout moments in Europe. I would say it would be like there and Berlin. But they are just like so specific about everything, especially like like the Dutch are just like they just have everything sorted out, and so yeah, I don't know. I'm just like if they mess with you, like you're onto something. You know what I mean? I'm just like they're listening. And so yeah, it's just really nice to be able to bring them into an American context that like matches sort of like the just like the quality of experience that they might be used to. So like that's been really great. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard to do off the top of my head, but like collectives like Zoza, who have just been like really great about pushing forward like like femme talent and like LGBTQ plus talent has been really great. And like yeah, I've loved playing their parties over the years. Last weekend I was just at a party function which had their like 25th edition. And that was like really beautiful and inspiring. Yeah, it was so inspiring because I played like the first edition of that party in 2021 where there was just sort of like sorting it out, you know? So like see how far it's come and just like how like, yeah, just like to see someone like make their imagination like real in this way where it's like we are like it feels like a movie or like you're on a movie set or something when someone like takes like the just like the production element of an event like that far and like there's something that's really inspiring to me about that because yeah it's like I'm creating this world for like this music and like for like us to exist in and like this is our microcosm for however long this party is, you know?
Enter into this world.
Yeah, and like I felt like they did an incredible job and it really made me feel so like proud to like I don't have to be playing the party but to be there and like see the like the promoters and the team and like just like people that like I know and love like the host like just really hit their stride and like knock it out of the park was like really beautiful. So yeah, I feel like it's just like as you get kind of like older in this thing, I'm like I literally feel like it's so interesting for me to be like I started DJing at 19. I'm 31 now. I'm like I have stacked my whole 20s on this, like my whole entire 20s. Like this is what I was doing, you know? And I feel like I have an amazing network. I have amazing friends. I have amazing inspiration and amazing journeys to show for it. So yeah, I feel like it's a blessing and like I have these moments in New York where I'm just like I was supposed to be here. Like I was supposed to be here on this dance floor. Like there are like just these like moments of like inspiration like popping off in my head and like I know that maybe I could have gotten there like by some other means, but like not like this in a way where like this moment of like pleasure and enjoyment is like leading you to these ideas that you're supposed to have, like these things that you're supposed to like create and like bring into the world, you know, and express. And that's really cool, you know. I'm like, that's not something I take for granted. That's not something I've always had be a part of my life. And as much as I get to, fly around and be a part of that for other people, I also need those moments that replenish me with that inspiration, you know? So yeah, I'm like, New York life is not easy, but like it's taken me so long to settle here that I'm just like, I have to dig these feet in. I gotta hold the position, you know what I mean? Until I'm like really on some like upstate vibes and I just wanna sit in my rocking chair and like listen to the cars drive around the corner, you know, that vibe. I'm like, that'll definitely be nice one day, but like right now is like this is like the meat of the experience, you know? Like this is the part I've been building towards. Yeah, I'm working towards.
Now you get to enjoy it.
Exactly.
I'm really happy to hear that you're like have that perspective and are like able to now. I could talk with you for hours. I want to end with a question that's kind of about your sound, which we've kind of gestured at.
Yeah.
But I think is very unique and like the reason, like one of the reasons I became a massive fan of yours when I moved to New York. I actually got to see you in like my first month moving here.
Oh, amazing. Where was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was opening for Derek Carter at $3 Bill, 2022.
Oh my gosh, wow.
It's like right after Detrimental for you, I think.
That's crazy. That was a really good one. That was a fun show.
Yeah, and I was just like, Derek Carter was like at that point my favorite DJ,
he's
because I'd like
so
seen
good.
him a lot at
He's
Queen,
so
and it was
good.
like right when I just started producing, and it was just like kind of this whole thing for me. And yeah, I like just moved to New York and just was like riding that high, and then was like, I think I had maybe come across one of your sets or something, and was just like, oh cool, definitely want to like make sure I catch this set too.
Yeah.
And then just like was like loving your sound and what you were playing, and was like, okay, new favorite local DJ, awesome. And I came across to it like on your RA. There's just like kind of beautiful like quote and visual, and don't remember all of it, but there's something about like kind of like hard yet soft house, and kind of like how did that come about? Because I feel like that.
I think I wrote like heavy yet soft house. It's like too deep for some, but it's really for the lovers and the dancers who bring their heart to dance or something.
Yeah,
like this.
no, and I wish I had remembered that verbatim, but thank you for sharing that, because I think that really does like when I read that I was like, yes, that is perfect, like that. I feel like if you can distill you in 10 15 words, like that feels like pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And yeah, like how, I guess if you were to like expand on that, in a few more sentences or something, like how do you think about like your sound and like how all of these influences and stuff, like,
Yeah, I mean, I think like I really love vocal music. I started out like musically, like being trained as a singer. Was in like so many touring choirs as a child, like in school, and involved in church, and like touring choirs in both sense. And so yeah, I feel like that has really like stuck with me, because like as a child singing with others, or even singing by myself, like there was this whole process of like, you're not just singing a song, you are embodying a song. It's like it's like maybe these are someone else's words usually, but like you have to embody that in a way where like someone's sitting in front of you and not only being like, beautiful notes, beautiful voice, but like I am feeling the feelings of this musical experience. And so yeah, I feel like I love vocal music. I love R&B. I feel like so much of that really just like inspires me, because I just feel like there's just nothing better than feeling like you are in this big audience of people and having this moment where you guys are singing a song that like and they know, and it's this moment where you guys are like sharing like the meaning of the song, and we're also like conjuring in like the energy of like the people who even like put the song together for us to be able to enjoy or have all these memories too. And so I think in that way, like obviously like I love jazz. I love all of these like dubs that really come along and do things that are so like beautifully intricate and instrumental, but there's always these moments where like we can have those moments, but we need to then swing it back around, and like we need to sing a song.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like we have
Bring in
to
the
sing
voice.
this. We have to bring in the vox. So that's definitely a part of it. Another part of it is like this love for like just like jazz, and I feel like how the like soulful house has its sort of like its own history with like jazz musicians, people who like playing like sick like organ and instrumentation in like church and gospel, like coming in and like giving a lot of like just like flavor and life and meaning into what is just house or club music to some people, but it gives it this very like deep and like spiritual sort of charge. I think I'm really attracted to music like that, because that's the kind of music that we live our lives to. That's the kind of music that we have a feeling, and we know that there is a song that you've heard or you remember that like matches that feeling. Like these are these moments that I think I'm really like magnetized to. And then but further from that, I think I also just love how like me being really into just like older music, or like being really into like digging, it's like you're really bringing back the essence of like like the time capsule that's in those songs. So like me loving disco and like really loving just like certain strains of these like 80s moments where like we weren't even at house yet. It's like proto house almost, but like it's so like groovy and like instrumental, and like you feel like you're like sitting right there and the band's like playing around you, and like it may not be drums, it may be a bunch of synth machines, but it's like you still just get that feeling of like warmth that's like super analog. And I think I just in what I present and how I present it, I want to bring that element of appreciation. Like I really respect how much it takes to express yourself in this way, to write a song, to collaborate, to like push an idea or maybe something you were humming to this final form of like existing in a tangible form and like going on to like have a life of its own, you know? Like this is something that I think, yeah, I'm always like sort of keenly aware of, and I think that is something that is a cornerstone to my sound. It's like if I hear it, it makes me feel something. It like it has that charge, it has that rhythm, it has that soul. I am like, okay, like there's probably some way to like work this in, or like, you know, but I'm also recognizing, like, I think when I was younger, like I really was on like only older music tip. But as I get older, I'm an artist myself and like making music, and like I really appreciate when people are open, you know, like when you know your taste, when you know what you like. It doesn't have to be old, it doesn't have to be new, but like you hear it, you like it, and it's the DJ's job to put that in a great context, you know, to wrap it up in a way where it's understandable to the body, you know, to the mind, to the soul. And so, yeah, I think like a lot of that is just like something that, you know, I hear it, it makes me feel something, and I'm like, I feel like in relating to others, if it makes me feel something, it's gonna make someone else feel
Exactly.
something too, you
We,
know?
as the listener, to like, I definitely hear it. I
Mhm,
also hear it, and you kind of reference this like in the music that you make,
mhm.
which I recommend everyone listens to.
Yes,
Find it on
exactly.
Toucan Sounds.
Yes,
A link will we share.
I'm pushing forward to like finish this album like this year. Like I'm really like
I'm gonna hold you to that. You said
I'm
it.
going to. It's
Okay.
gonna be out.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
this
of
conversation.
course.
You're a wonderful person and a wonderful artist, and I'm very grateful I get to live in New York while you're here
Yes.
and performing. And yeah,
Yeah, and I can't wait for us to collab more, like play together, make music together. I'm like, I really do see that. But thank you so much for inviting me.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.